for his 13th win of the season. He was a 13-game winner last year, his best Major League season, and here we are 2 days before the All-Star break, and he has a chance to match that win total. Defensively, in outfield tonight of Thompson in left, Murphy in center, Washington in right. The infield has Oberkfell at third, Ramirez short, Hubbard second, Horner first. Rick Cerrone doing the catching, and Mailer on the mound for the Braves. He won the opening game of the season, Rick did, a shutout of the Philadelphia Phillies. Mailer and Bruce Sutter combined for that shutout. That's his only decision against the Phils this year. He's 2-4 lifetime against Philadelphia. And in this top half of the first inning, he'll be facing Juan Samuel, Greg Gross, and Von Hayes. And stepping back in to tell you all about it, once again, here's Ernie.
Thank you, Peter. Rick Mailer. Boy, what a year he's had. He's got a couple of more warm-up tosses. San Diego plays at St. Louis tonight. And we just understand that Glenn Wilson made the All-Star team as an alternate. That's a nice honor for the Philadelphia Philly right fielder. He's fourth in RBIs in the National League. Dodgers beat the Cubs, as Pete told you, 9-1 tonight. San Diego at St. Louis, New York at Houston. And we have nothing further to report on Joaquin Andujar, who said he's not going to the All-Star game unless he can start. That was the comment out of St. Louis last night. Looking into the Philadelphia dugout, picked up Wilson, who's made the All-Star team for the first time. Claude Osteen, their pitching coach. Juan Samuel, 1 for 7 in the series. It was a homer. Braves going for their 7th straight over the Phillies this year. And here's the first pitch. All the way to the screen, right off the mitt. Doesn't hurt. Nobody on. Montreal picked up a run. They lead Cincinnati 1-0 in the second. That's well hit. Washington got it. Nice catch. Samuel tacked it, and Washington caught up to it just around the edge of the track. It was not a fly ball. It was a line drive. 1 down.
Samuel's power is to the alleys, to left center and to right center. That's the way Washington had him shaded toward right center field. A fairly long run, but a fairly easy play for Claudel. He got to that ball in good shape.
Now Greg Gross. 1 for 5 in the series. He didn't start the first game. He's been around. He can play the outfield or first base. 1-0. Now time is called. Randy Marsh trotting in. Let's see.
Well, I think we've got some fans. We've got some fans out in center field that are sitting in front of the tarp, which serves as the hitter's background.
Yeah, they've got to move. That's why they have the tarp there.
I think they'll make those youngsters move to a different location.
One ball, no strikes. You can see the fans moving out of that area. That is the hitter's background. That's why they have that green tarp up there, although a few of the seats have been uncovered mysteriously.
Funny how that works.
You just grab the flap and pull it back.
That's all there is to it.
Yeah.
They will sell those seats, but only if every other seat in the ballpark is sold. Then they will go ahead and sell them.
This will be a nice Saturday night crowd. Be over 20,000 again. And the 1-0. Bunted foul. Atlanta at 944,000 in home attendance. Well, if there's 25 here tonight, that gets them to 970. I believe we're going to fall just a little bit short with tomorrow's crowd, the final one on this homestand. short of $1 million. Now the 1-2. Hit foul, down past third. If you recall Mailer's last outing, we mentioned it right away. It was on Braves radio only. It was Monday that he opened up with a lot of fastballs. Kept throwing more and more fastballs, and Montreal was confused. They were looking for breaking balls. A little bit high.
And we talked with Bruce Benedict after that game, and he says there is definitely a purpose to that. They like to have Rick Mailer throw a little differently each time he faces a club. I feel that makes him a lot more effective.
I think he wins. Yes, he did. Strikeout. Curveball was out in front. Slow curve, and Gross is out of there.
And he is not an easy strikeout. That's only the 7th time he's struck out this year in 110 at-bats. He chased a bad pitch, curveball that bounced up there, but he was unable to stop the swing, and there are 2 away.
And the batter, Von Hayes. Batting .364 this year against Atlanta. .302 lifetime, so he's always been a thorn in the side of Braves pitching. And the fastball is a little bit low. He has 2 hits in the series, a double and a sac fly, and he's made a couple of good catches. He can go get him out there in center field. Big, tall, rangy kid with speed.
And like Dale Murphy, he did not start out as a center fielder. He was a third baseman when he began his career.
He's stolen 12 bases, been caught 6 times. Mike Ryan is their first base coach, and Dave Bristol their third. That's well hit, but should be caught just short of the track at Thompson, and he's got it. Milt Thompson playing left tonight in place of Harper, who's been given a night off. He's played so much. That's a 1-2-3. Philadelphia failed to score. Atlanta coming to bat. With a single off to Covey in that 9th inning, we'll lead it on. One of our most exciting games of the year. Kind of goes back to '82 and '83 when the Braves pulled out so many ball games late. You're looking at Charlie Hudson. There's the defense behind him. Hudson's a big guy, and you feel, just like Pete and I were talking, the same way about Hudson as you do Jose De Leon, who lost his 13th game today for the Pittsburgh Pirates, that one day they get their act together and they're going to win 15 to 20 ball games because they have major league stuff. There's no doubt about it. If you went over there and tried to pry them loose in a trade, they'd want the bank.
Yes, they would.
Ramirez will bat second. Thompson at .316. He's been impressive since being called up from Richmond. Left-handed batter, as you can see, with speed, and Schmidt shallows up a bit at third. Although I haven't seen Thompson bunt that much in his short career in the major leagues. They've got him played straight away, the 0-1. And he bunts, and he's going to beat it. He's going to beat it. That-away, Milt.
He did this perfect. To drag bunt, get it past the mound. If he can run, you've got yourself a base hit. There was no way they were going to get Milt Thompson once Corcoran made the play on that ball. He came up with it, dropped it. Even if he comes up cleanly, Thompson was going to beat Hudson to the bag at first.
Well, he showed me and showed the Phillies and everybody that he can bunt. Only play that Corcoran had was try to catch it. As soon as he couldn't catch it, Thompson was going to reach. And here's Ramirez with an 11-game hitting streak. 6 hits in this series. A couple of RBIs. There goes Thompson, and he's going to be safe. He's 2 for 2 in stolen bases. Milt Thompson.
That is one thing the Braves have lacked all season, speed at the top of the batting order, base-stealing speed. Claudell Washington's been leading off, and he can steal a base. But Milt Thompson's the kind of guy that, given a chance to play 150 games a year, could steal you 60 or 70 bases. Washington will steal maybe 25 or 30, but Thompson can get you twice as many.
That wasn't too bad a throw by Diaz. It was close. He just got in ahead of the tag. Now Ramirez might try to go to right. Goes to the mound. Uh-oh. They got Thompson hung up, and he's going to try to get Ramirez to second. But Ramirez isn't going to make it. Now Ramirez might be hung up. The ball is dropped, and Wine is arguing that someone was in the base path without the ball. Wine is arguing that one of the Phillies was in the baseline without the ball and interfered with Thompson. But he got no response.
I can see why he's arguing. The play is a complicated one. It goes 1-6, 5-4-1. And there's a point here when pitcher Charles Hudson's going to get over in that third base line. There's Schmidt. Now you see the shortstop, Jeltz, going back to cover the bag at third. He's at third. Hudson is now in the base path without the ball. See him right there. That's what Bobby Wine was arguing about. He did not have the ball, and he had the base path blocked.
Murphy takes a strike. So it's a fielder's choice. You could see Thompson waving, hoping that Raffy could get to second base, but Ramirez didn't want to run into a double play either, and that's a possibility. 1-6-5-4. 1 on the double play. Down a right field side. It's foul. Murphy, who's hit 18 of his home runs off right-handed pitching and hit number 22 last night, just missed another one.
He has tremendous power to the off field.
No balls, 2 strikes. A little bit high with a fastball, 1-2. Thompson, of course, is kicking himself. He knows you can't be caught off second base on a grounder back to the mound, but he thought it might be going through. So it's poor base running on his part. Eddie Haas doesn't have to tell him. These guys know it. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Horner on deck. Murphy, with his homer last night, gets out in front in the National League in homers, and he's tied for RBIs with Tommy Hurt, as he had 5 RBIs last night. He hit the 2 first runs in, and then the last 3 for 5. 2-2. Struck him out, and the bat went to deep short. Well, that's a record. Look where that bat went. Short left field. Now Bob Horner. Carlton Fisk of the Chicago White Sox leads the Major League in homers. He has 23. The captain hitless in the series. Takes high. Boy, this guy can fire. He's well over 6 feet, about 200 pounds. He's 6'3", says 185, but I'm sure he's added a couple of pounds to that. Most of the time, they take your stats when you first come up. You can put on weight, and they very seldom alter it. Curveball outside. Last year with the Phillies, Hudson was 9-11, ERA 4.04. The year before, he was 8-8 with the Phillies, 6-3 with Portland. It's cushion night here tonight, courtesy Eckert Drugs, and fans start to wrap their cushions together. Throw to first. Ramirez is back. 2 outs. Now a 2-0 to Bob Horner. High. 3-0. They're in the third now. Montreal 1, Cincinnati nothing. Washington on deck. And a 3-0. Drill, left center field. It's going to be in for extra bases. Ramirez might score. They're going to take a chance. He's at third, and he's going to score easily. Horner at second with a double and an RBI. Boy, 3-0 pitch. Eddie Haas says, if you like it, swing at it. And did he swing at it?
And this picks everybody out. This picks up Milt Thompson for the base running mistake. It picks up Dale Murphy for the strikeout. And it gets the first run home. Hayes had thoughts about trying to make a diving attempt at that ball. But when he couldn't, it got by him to the wall. And Ramirez, who runs hard all the time, got the green light all the way from Bobby Wine, is able to make it home without a throw. Horner had thoughts about moving to third when the throw got by Jeltz, but it was backed up by Hudson. That's Bob's 40th RBI.
Strike call to CW, who's batting .274. 9 homers and 23 RBI. That's well hit. Off the shortstop. That could be a base hit. Boy, a bullet to short. Jeltz tried to scoop it and couldn't.
He might have been screened a little bit here by the runner at second, Bob Horner. The ball hit like a rocket right toward him. Horner was in front of him for just an instant. He tried to catch it on the short hop, kicked it around a little bit. And an error will be charged. That's a tough error.
Well, I can't understand it. I hit the ball that hard. Actually penalized 2 people on that play. That was a bullet. The young shortstop, Jeltz, tried to scoop it on that first bout. That's a tough error, is right. First and third, Oberkfell, a batter. Strike call. I might mention that last night at the close of the show, we said they had changed the play, that Ramirez hit the ball to short, that they'd given the error to the shortstop. They didn't. It still was a base hit. Driven along the line and right. Is it fair or foul? It is fair on the line. 1 in. Here comes Washington. 2 in. Oberkfell. Triple, and he almost got deep by Schmidt. Did you see Schmidt stand there as though the ball wasn't coming? Oberkfell did not slide, and that was close, but he got a triple and 2 RBIs.
It's been surprising at times how some outfields defensively have not played Oberkfell to pull much this year, because he has been pulling the ball with regularity since the beginning of the season. Not that that ball would have been caught. It was right down the line. But because Wilson was so far over in right center field, that ball bounced around down there for a while, enabling Oberkfell to get all the way around to third. His 20th and 21st RBIs of the year.
Hubbard, the pitch, almost hit him. 1-0. Sabella started the other 2 games. Hubbard starting here tonight, batting .211. Foul away. Hubbard's batting .364 this year against the Phillies. Bobby Dews is out there coaching, but he was hit today, I understand, in batting practice by a line drive. I think it hit him in the leg, and he's hanging tough, but he's hurting. Coaching hurt. And the players, of course, won't let him up. 2 balls and a strike. Three hits in the inning. Could have been 4. And a 2-on. Hit up the middle, hit. It hits the bag. Another run in. Four nothing.
21st RBI of the season for Hubbard. Braves have been really teeing off on Charles Hudson in a breaking ball that time. And Rick Cerrone will be the 8th man to bat in the inning with 4 runs already in.
It didn't hit the bag. On the replay, you saw it hit a mound of dirt right to the left of the bag. Took a funny bounce out into center field. Hubbard's at first. Cerrone, the 8th hitter in the inning, Hudson has not been a mystery at this point. On one. Low. And the 1-1. Missed it, 1-2. Mailer's on deck. Take a look into the Philadelphia dugout. John Felske's their manager. Claude Osteen is their pitching coach. And Hudson pitches. Bouncing ball is short by Cerrone. That's out number 3. But the Braves sent 8 to the plate and 4 touch home. We go to the second. 4-0.
Here's one of them. This off Tim Corcoran's bat. He hit a line drive. It's almost past Horner, and he makes the diving grab. And he made another play in the ground ball just about that tough a little bit later on in the game. He's really adjusted well to moving across from third to first.
And he loves that spot. He'd much rather play first than third.
Also presents the Braves with an interesting situation. It looks like Bob Horner's future position is going to be first base. Very few teams will carry 3 first basemen on the club, and the Braves, of course, have Chris Chambliss and Gerald Perry on the bench.
Sometimes a first baseman can play another position, but Chris has never played anything but first. Perry has played a little outfield. There's a drive to right that Claudel should catch, and he does. Wilson, who was just added to the National League All-Star game, and our congratulations to him, just hit that ball hard, but right at Washington. He's 2 for 8 in the series, and Wilson with 60 RBIs is 4th in the National League.
He deserves All-Star recognition for 60 RBIs at mid-year.
Now Mike Schmidt. He has 3 hits in the series. 2 of them doubles. 1-0.
Mike Schmidt not going to the All-Star game this year for the first time since 1978.
That's quite a string. And there's several others. Reggie Jackson, Rod Carew not going. One ball and a strike. Pete Van Weren's not going. Skip Carey, John Sterling, Johnson, Croker. None of them going. None of those big shots. 2 balls and 1 strike.
We have golf tournaments.
Yeah.
Prior commitment.
Yes, something more important. And a 2-1. High into the air, right center. Murphy, I believe, should get under it. Let's watch. He will. At the track. Schmidt was flirting with one to the off field. Had Murphy on the track in deep right center.
Mailer's retired 5 in a row, but 4 of the hitters have hit the ball hard. You'll recall in that first inning, Samuel sent Washington back just shy of the warning track. Von Hayes had Milt Thompson on the edge of the warning track, and 2 pretty well hit fly balls in this game, or in this inning rather.
Tim Corcoran. Strike call. I was sorry to see Don Mattingly's streak snap. For you Don Mattingly Yankee fans, he had a streak of 20 going. It's interesting when someone gets something like that going, but he was stopped today as the Yankees won, however. They beat Texas 3-1. Niekro won his 8th, and Phil Niekro now with 292 career wins. Here's a 1-1. Little sidearm curve. That's a Johnny Sane trick. Little sidearm curve to a left-handed batter when you're a right-handed pitcher. Most pitching coaches say that's a no-no. Broke his bat, fouled at the left. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The element of surprise in side-arming a left-hander that sometimes gets you past him. You just don't do it all the time. Well, Montreal, who lost last night to Cincinnati, trying to get even tonight. They lead 4-0 going to the 4th. And the Reds won in the 11th last evening on an error by Tim Wallach, who doesn't kick many. Cincinnati 5, Montreal 4. And right now, the Dodgers are virtually tied with San Diego for first place in the West. They won this afternoon. Look at that slow curve fouled away. San Diego has a record of 49-37. The Dodgers are 48-36. And the Dodgers have done it the way you're supposed to. They've won now 6 in a row and 9 out of their last 11, and that'll result in moving up in the standings. 3-2. Toward Horner. It is fair. Horner diving for it. Couldn't come up with it. Fans are booing. They thought the ball was foul. Corcoran's at second. And it's one of those very difficult decisions by John McSherry. We'll tell you about it. It's a high bouncer. It hit in foul territory beyond first base. But that doesn't make any difference. McSherry said when it was in the air, it was fair going over the bag.
Going over the bag is where it counts, and he got no argument on this call. It was only an inch or so in the foul territory when it was about 15 feet past the bag, so pretty good chance that ball was indeed fair when it crossed the bag.
Bo Diaz, who hasn't played much due to injuries, takes the strike. A runner at second, 2 away. That's fouled off to the right. Braves 4, Phillies nothing. The 0-2. Just off the corner, 1-2. Oakland beat Milwaukee 2-0 this afternoon. Talk about a hex. Minnesota has a hex on Detroit. They're leading tonight 3-0. The Tigers have not beaten the Twins all year. It's just like the Braves and the Phillies. They're 0-6 against Minnesota this year, the world's champs of last year. A little high inside, 2-2. Yankees, by the way, have won 5 in a row. They're only 4 games out of first now. Two. Drilled over third. Going to be in for a hit. Thompson's got it. They're going to hold their runner. Here comes the throw. A nice throw. Thompson, in a hurry, got that ball in. And there's no way Corcoran's going to score, especially down by 4.
We've already seen in Milt Thompson's brief time up with Atlanta this year what kind of an arm he's got. His first starting assignment, he had 2 assists. He threw out a runner at third base and a runner at home plate. So they respect that arm, and he holds the runner at third.
This is Jeltz. Fast strike. Diaz at first and Corcoran at second. Make it third. Jeltz has had a rough series, although a couple of the plays we feel shouldn't have been errors. He had come in 46 games without a boot. Fastball high inside.
Something about the Braves do something to him defensively. Remember, opening night he made 3 errors. He's only made 10 all year. Yeah. About 5 of them now against Atlanta.
Trying to get a wave started. 1 ball, 1 strike. Curveball in there. Beautiful curve, 1 and 2. If Mailer gets the 8-hitter, he's got the pitcher leading off in the next inning. The 1-2. A little bit high. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mailer a little unhappy with himself. Walking around out there. 2-2. Low. 3 and 2. Now the runner at first will move. Finally got the wave going partially. A small wave. 3 balls and 2 strikes. And the pitch. Hit slowly toward short. Tough play. Ramirez. He got him. Beautiful play. Saved a run. A nice play by Ramirez. That's a 6-3. On a slow roller. We'll take another look at it. He had to scoop it and throw all in one motion. He was in the air. We go to the bottom of the second. 4-0 Atlanta. Here on cushion night, and the fans are pounding their cushions. And they had the wave. They also flap the cushions. Just hope they hold on to them. I'll just never forget Frisbee night.
Frisbee night.
Looked like it was snowing.
The first and the last Frisbee.
In a run. Just tuned us in. They're not holding Mailer. No need to. He's not going to run. High chop. Hudson with 1 play. Gets Thompson. 1 out with a runner at second. Now Ramirez. Charlie Williams and Randy Marsh, 2 umpires here tonight, are going to be working the All-Star game on Tuesday. It's a nice honor for them, too. Ramirez, curveball high. One out, 1 on. Foul back. Raffy's really got that swing groove. He's looking to hit in 12 straight. Now the cushions are being hammered. That is a base hit, center field. Mailer's going to have to go, but he won't score. They're going to hold him there. He doesn't run well. But Ramirez with a single is now safely in 12 straight.
I'm really surprised we've seen no bullpen activity yet for the Phillies, because the Braves have really been teeing off on Hudson, and they've hit a lot of his breaking balls. His curveball just not doing much. It's breaking a little bit, but not much. Braves have jumped on a lot of those breaking pitches. That was a curve that Ramirez hit to center field, but still no Philadelphia bullpen activity, and that's 6 hits for Atlanta. We're only in the second inning with 1 out.
Very strange.
And usually this weekend before the All-Star break, you see a lot of pitchers used.
Murphy's a batter. Hit foul up this way. Right over our heads. Yes, you're absolutely right. You pointed that out. I remember we were working together last year. We were talking about, with the 3 days off, they can use a starter in the bullpen, so it's not that you haven't got enough pitching. Anybody is available.
Tonight's game and tomorrow's game, you look in the box scores, you'll see a lot of starting pitchers used out of the bullpen.
0-1 to Murphy. Drill! Left field deep! Back toward that wall! Out of here! Dale Murphy! They're standing in Atlanta. The big center fielder is on a tear these last 2 days.
And with this swing of the bat, Dale Murphy takes over the home run lead in the National League by 2 now over Pedro Guerrero. And he has the RBI lead all to himself with 69.
And still nobody warming up. Strike to Horner. 7-0. 0-2. Horner had a double and an RBI in the first. Murphy in the second with 2 on, number 23. 69 RBIs. Luck out. 1-2. 1 out. Well hit toward right center field. Hayes is back. This ball is off the wall. Horner's got 2. He's going to make 3 with no problem. The Braves are roughing up a pretty good pitcher here tonight. ERA a little over 3. And they've knocked him around from pillar to post.
It's looked like batting practice for the Braves. They have gotten some healthy cuts all around the batting order. This one almost got out of the ballpark. Hitting high off that right center field wall. Then it hit off Hayes' knee and rolled right along the warning track. And that enabled Horner to get all the way around to third.
John Felske's letting Hudson absorb it. He leads off the next inning. Be alive, Claudel. Foul away. Sometimes a fit of temper after a while will just make the pitcher drop you.
Now we are going to finally get some bullpen activity. And whoever that is not listed on the Phillies roster. Rocky Childress.
0-1. Well hit base hit. Horner scores. It's 8. The Braves try to close out the first half of this season just before the break with a flourish, going for the 3rd win in a row.
Another breaking ball with not much on it. Claudel drilled it into right field. That's 9 hits, 8 runs. We're only in the bottom half of the second.
Claude Osteen, their pitching coach, is out to the mound, and I just don't know what he can tell Charles Hudson other than, hey, don't worry about it. Everyone's gone through this. There's not a pitcher alive that hasn't been banged around from pillar to post sometime in their career, even the great ones. And Osteen is more or less trying to console his pitcher. The only problem is sometimes on a young pitcher, a guy who's just come up, takes them a while to get over the fact that they've been bombarded out there. And some managers won't even let that happen in fear of ruining their confidence. Oberkfell. Obi had a triple right down the line. On the replay, it showed it was fair by a foot or 2. At first blush, it looked like it almost hit the foul line. He knocked in 2, and he ended up at 3rd. The pitch to him. Strike. 0-1. 4 in the first and 4 here in the second. Atlanta with a comfortable 8-0 lead on 9 hits. That is line into right field, base hit. Washington makes the turn. 1st and 3rd. Six hits in the inning. And the batter's Glenn Hubbard. Well, I tell you, unless Mr. Hudson is in a doghouse for some reason, It's hard for me to comprehend any young pitcher being left out here to get whacked for 10 hits and 8 runs in 2 innings.
I don't understand it either. I don't
just can't
understand it
imagine
either,
it.
especially this weekend when, like we've said before, you've got 3 off days coming up, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You don't have to worry about overusing your pitchers because you can pitch 5 or 6 different guys each day, really, and they'll all have 3 days off. But now the change is going to be made. But it looks like it's coming way too late for the Phillies tonight.
The second visit, so Charlie Hudson is gone.
Rocky Childress coming into the game.
While he takes his warm-up tosses and Charles Hudson leaves, we'll break away for this message. First and third, 1 out. Let's see. Childress is 6'2", 195. He's only 23 years old. He's born in Santa Rosa, California, and still lives there. Hubbard's a batter. Last year he was at Reading. He was 7-6, ERA 2.96. Strictly a relief pitcher. He's been groomed in the minor leagues to be a relief pitcher. And that's driven a right field. It'll get the run in. Wilson with a catch. Washington jogs in. Hubbard with his second RBI of the night. It's now 9-0. The Braves have batted around.
It's kind of fun, isn't it?
I have a new experience in '85. Cerrone with a runner at first, 2 out. Cerrone's the only Brave to this point without a base hit. We're in the second inning. Well, that's a stat. Everyone has had at least 1 hit except Cerrone in an inning and 2/3. That should be caught in center by Hayes, and it is. Braves bat around, score 5 more. We go to the third, 9-0.
It's only for the entertainment of our audience. Any publication, rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Atlanta Braves and the Turner Broadcasting System is prohibited.
Rocky Childress will lead it off. Mailer won his 13th game in 1984 on September 25th. That's a fly ball center. Murphy, 1 down. Now Juan Samuel. Samuel hit it hard the first time, but right at Washington at right, who had to go a ways to catch it, but he can do that. High into the air, short left. Let's see. Thompson calling for it with his arm upraised. 2 down. Mailer in a situation like this with a 9-run lead is not going to throw many pitches out of the strike zone. He's not going to nibble too much. He's going to try to get it over, and if he gets in a jam and they start doing something, he might go back to being a little more fine with his pitches, but a minimum of pitches in this situation will benefit him. Laying it right in there, because many times the opposing manager will say, well, take a strike. And that's what Gross did. 0-2. No score at St. Louis after 1, the Padres and the Cardinals. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That's foul past third. Pete Rose picked up a base hit yesterday. He needs 35 now to break Cobb's record. He is on the All-Star team. They selected other players yesterday. Dave Parker also made it from the Reds. He deserves it. The 1-2. Hit hard, center field hit. Gross with a line single to center with 2 down. Now Vaughn Hayes. Jose Cruz made it from the Houston Astros. A runner at first, and Horner will play behind him. One and oh.
One interesting twist to the All-Star game this year. Catcher Ozzie Virgil was named to the All-Star team. And his dad, Ozzie Sr., is going to be one of the All-Star coaches, and that's a first.
There's a base hit to right by Hayes. After 2 outs. Back-to-back singles. Washington came up throwing in right field. Fans appreciate that. Play like it's 1-1, even though it's 9-0. Glenn Wilson. Naylor, by the way, has given up some hard hit balls here tonight. Even though he's got them shut out, he's been touched for 4 hits, and a few liners have been caught. 1-0. They're now in the third, scoreless at St. Louis. Padres against the Cardinals. 1 ball and strike. Toward first, Horner is going to handle it. Nice play. That's out number 3. Ball took a funny bounce on the captain. They strand 2. We go to the bottom of the third. The Braves are up by 9.
For one, he had a base hit in the second. 10 hits in the first 2 innings for Atlanta, good for 9 runs. Rocky Childress delivers, fly ball right. Glenn Wilson right there, 1 down. Back to the top of the order now, Milt Thompson. He had a bunt single in the first. He was thrown out pitcher to first in the second. Sharply hit right at short. Jeltz on to first in time. Very quickly, 2 down here at the bottom of the third, and that'll bring up Rafael Ramirez, who extended his hitting streak to 12 games with that base hit in the second inning. He reached on a fielder's choice in the first. Ramirez now at 283. His average steadily climbing the last month or so. Rocky Childress deals a fastball for a strike, 0-1. Two outs, bases empty. It's 9-0 Atlanta. We're in the bottom of the third. 1-1 the count. That makes it 1-2. Well, we hope Annette Moore, recovering from surgery in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, enjoying this one. She's a big Braves fan. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Bouncing ball. Deep short. Watch the arm on Steve Jeltz. Not too good a throw that time, but he got it over there in time. We've seen him make better throws than that. Braves go down 1-2-3 in the third. After 3 complete, it's still 9-zip. This one deep to left, but Thompson will get to it on the edge of the warning track. Another hard hit ball, but right at Thompson, one away. Tim Corcoran will be the batter. He doubled his first time. We'll update you on other scores. Giants beat the Pirates today 4-1. The Dodgers defeated Chicago 9-1. Fernando Valenzuela got the win. The Dodgers trying to move into first place in the National League West. San Diego is at St. Louis tonight. No score after 2. Wajna against Cox. Montreal 4, Cincinnati 1 after 5. Gullickson against Soto. Brooks a Montreal homer. New York at Houston just starting. It'll be Lynch against Knudsen. In the American League, Yankees behind Phil Niekro beat Texas 3-1. Win number 292 for Phil. Oakland 2, Milwaukee nothing. Burtsis and Ontiveros combined for that shutout. Tonight it's 4-0 Chicago over Baltimore after 3. Burns against Martinez. Baines a Chicago home run. Kansas City leads Cleveland 3-0 after 3.5. Saberhagen against Blyleven. White a Kansas City home run. And Minnesota 3, Detroit nothing after 3. Schramm against Petrie. Smalley a home run for Minnesota. Later on, Toronto at California and Boston at Seattle. Here it is 9-0 Atlanta. We're in the 4th inning. And the 2-1 pitch is taken for a strike 2-2. Braves with 4 runs in the first, 5 in the second. All 9 runs charged to Charles Hudson, 6 of them earned. Rafael Ramirez knocks it down, recovers. His throw will not be in time. Ramirez almost came up with that ball cleanly. It'll go as a base hit.
If he gets it in the webbing, he's out. But it just worked its way out. Still made a remarkable recovery and make it close.
That's hit number 5 off Rick Mailer. And it brings up the catcher, Bo Diaz, who had a base hit his first time. One man gone. Down the third base line, foul. Funny how this game works. The Phillies playing a little bit better the last month or so, but they've run into the Braves. They just can't seem to do anything right. And they've lost 6 straight to Atlanta. They're well on their way to number 7 in a row. One ball, one strike. The Braves have had all sorts of problems this year against Montreal and the Mets and St. Louis. Phillies have held their own against those 3 clubs.
Braves have played better against the West. They're 22-22.
Sharply toward second. Hubbard to Ramirez. 1 on the first. Double play ends the inning. 4-6-3 twin killing. And we go to the bottom half of the 4th inning with no change in our score. Into center field. It's going to fall for a base hit. Washington rounding third. The ball bobbled by Vaughn Hayes. He'll score without a throw. It's 11-0. And Hubbard in 3 times at the plate tonight has driven in 1 run each time with 2 singles and a sacrifice fly. 3 RBIs in the game, 23 on the season now for Hubbard. 13 hits in the game for Atlanta, and Rick Cerone the batter. Rick made the last out in the first inning. He made the last out of the second inning. He's going to get some razzing from his teammates.
You better pick up a hit here, Rick.
2 outs of this inning. Ball one. Braves with 4 in the first, 5 in the second, 2 more here in the fourth. 2-0. Well, we're happy for Ron Darling, but I do feel sorry for Rick Mailer.
Yeah.
You win 13 games by the All-Star break. You've got the second highest total of wins in the National League, and Rick Cerone will not make the last out this time. They're going to wave Hubbard. Now they put the brakes on. They had him going, and then after he got about 3 steps around third, they held him up. Rick Cerone's got himself a double. Everybody in the Braves lineup now has at least 1 hit. That's his 3rd double of the year.
It's almost a little like that game in Cincinnati. 14 hits and 3 2/3 innings and 11 runs.
And you can't ease up on the pitcher when you're facing Rick Mailer either. He's a good hitter. He's singled to right and flied to right. Batting .226 on the season. Couple of runners in scoring position, 2nd and 3rd with 2 outs. Back to the pitcher. The inning will end. But the Braves pick up 2 more. And at the end of 4, Atlanta has opened up an 11-run lead.
Rogers, head coach of the Memphis Showboats, will be their guest on the night of the USFL Championship. That's the sports page Sunday night at 10:05 Eastern, right here on the Superstation. We want to say hi to Mrs. Agnes McLean down in Gainesville, Georgia, and hope that she enjoys this ball game. Might be Gainesville, Florida. We didn't get the correct address. We'll say both. And Joel Nichols, who is a teenager tonight. Behave yourself, Joel, and on this special day, have some fun.
Steve Jeltz leads off the 5th. He grounded to short his first time up. Mailer delivers. Fastball. Hubbard backhands it. Throws to first. 1 pitch, 1 out. And now Rocky Childress will bat for himself. Well, here's something to be thinking about as you watch the remainder of this ball game. Braves with a big lead, 11-0, 14 hits. Bob Horner with a double, a triple, and a home run in this game. You know, the last time, remember, the Braves hit for the cycle? All he needs is a single. 1910.
Wow.
75 years since a Braves hitter has hit for the cycle. William Collins. 1910 against Philadelphia.
Used to pitch him outside. But that is really unusual because we've had some this year hit for the cycle on other ball clubs.
Keith Hernandez did it against the Braves in that 19-inning game.
Jeff Leonard did it earlier this year, the Giants.
So if Horner gets a single, and he should have a couple more at-bats in this game, he'll do something that no Brave has done for 75 years. Here's the 2-1 to Childress. Bouncer toward short. Ramirez to Horner, 2 down. And we're back to the top of the order. Juan Samuel, who was flying to right and flying to left. Mets in Houston underway now. No score after a half inning. And the pitch from Rick Mailer, fly ball right field. It should be a 1-2-3 inning. Claudel is there. And that's it for the Phillies in the 5th. We go to the bottom half. Rick Mailer continues with the shutout. And the Braves have that huge 11-run lead.
Second base to take over for Juan Samuel, who made out to end the inning. If we recapped how the Braves scored all their runs, why, we wouldn't do anything else. The Braves lead at 11-0, bottom of the 5th, and the top of the order is up. Milt Thompson. He led off the game with a drag bunt single. stole second base, and the Braves went on to score 4 runs in the first, 5 in the second, and 2 last inning. 11-0 Braves. There's a line drive, base hit up the left center field alley. It'll roll to the fence, and Thompson at second will put the brakes on. Not only is that the Braves' 15th hit, but it is their 8th extra base hit. 2 home runs, 2 triples, and 4 doubles in the first 4+ innings.
Are you sure we have to have an all-star break? Boy, this is something.
That is a terrible break for the Braves to have the all-star break now when they're at their very hottest. And here's Ramirez, who has extended his hitting streak to 12 games. He has a hit tonight. Every Brave has at least 1 hit tonight, and Bob Horner, who has a double, triple, and home run, will try for the cycle with a single. And Skip just told me over on the radio that no Brave has hit for the cycle since 1910. The pitch is popped up. That's Tim Corcoran. 1 away.
Yeah, that was a fellow named William Collins. He did it on October 6th. I think he and Ernie were roommates.
Well, I think Ernie taught him a lot, taught him to pull the ball. Here's Murph, who has, to his credit tonight, a 3-run home run. That's foul straight back. Murph now has 23 home runs and 69 RBIs. That is really something. He needs another RBI. Imagine going to the All-Star break with 70 ribbies. The Murph. He also has, I believe, I might be wrong on this, but I think it's true. I believe he has 20 RBIs in his last 13 games. He lays off the pitch outside. Ball 1. The count 1-1. You know, I forgot to say hello to us, or for us. So much has been going on tonight. Skip Carey, John Sterling with you from the stadium now. And there is a strike, and the count 1-2. Murph hit his 3-run home run in the second inning. And he strikes out for the second time as the sinker went down and away. Now 2 outs for the Braves, and here's Bob Horner, the captain, who has a double, a triple, and a home run.
I hope he beats out a bunt or something. 75 years. That's really amazing. You'd think Eddie Matthews or Henry Aaron would have hit for this.
Bob Elliott. I mean, the Braves have had a lot of great hitters. Joe Adcock. So many great hitters over the years. Horner foul tipped it. That was the
Rod Gilbreth.
Gesticulation by Billy Williams.
Rod just fell off the couch.
Rod is a good guy. He did not hit for the cycle. Horner needs a single. That will not be it. Childress will throw him out. That ends the 5th. The Braves no runs on a hit, and they leave 1 at the end of 5. It's 11-0 hot Atlanta. Here in Atlanta, Braves have an 11-0 lead on 15 hits, 8 of which have been extra bases. Unbelievable. Rick Mailer, the beneficiary. Greg Gross takes it high, ball 1. Gross has a base hit tonight. Phillies have 5 hits. Trail 11-0 here in the 6th. There's a strike. We want to wish a get well to a real good Braves fan. Carter Neely from Statesboro, Georgia, recovering from an illness in Candler Hospital in Savannah. Breaking ball is down low, 2-1. He's a great Murphy fan, and I understand from his friends that all of his nurses are Bob Horner fans, so they all have to be happy tonight. Greg Gross gets a base hit right up the middle. That leads off the Phillies' 6th. And I know I'm a little early on this, but if I don't do it now, I'll forget to do it. The 80th birthday is coming up for Mr. E.R. Reagan. Lives in Bainbridge, Georgia. Congratulations, sir. Hope you have many more healthy ones and happy ones. That's Von Hayes. And Hayes lines one up the gap in right center field. This could score Gross. Murph recovers on the track. Gross will score, and Hayes will try for third. And he'll make it. It might be a double or an error. Murph had it come out of his glove in right center field. Or they might call it a triple all the way. They do. They call it a double and an error. And I guess that is to prevent Hayes from getting an RBI.
I don't know. He hasn't said whether he's going to give him the RBI or not. He booted it there while we were watching the runner, and Hubbard's throw is just late to third base.
Oh, it's an 11-1 ball game, and here is Glenn Wilson.
They do give him an RBI.
Okay, good. You see the totals. Wilson takes it inside. And Wilson gets a base hit and an RBI. So it's an 11-2 ball game. Glenn Wilson has to be a happy guy. He has become a star this year, both in the outfield with his 12 assists and at the plate with his 61 RBIs now. And he was named to take the place of the injured Pedro Guerrero on the National League All-Star team. Well, the Phillies have put together a single, double, and single and have scored twice. It's 11-2, and here is Mike Schmidt. Schmidt has hit the ball hard twice tonight. Caught on the track a couple of times. Mailer's first pitch. A little high, a little outside, ball one. It's 11-2 Braves here in the top of the sixth. There's a strike.
We were talking on radio, John, and we don't work for the Braves technically, so we can't be accused of tampering, but you just wonder if Mike Schmidt's career in Philadelphia will reach its end at the end of this year. He's had a bad year. The fans are on him. He's popped off about the fans.
That's fouled away.
He's got a contract through '87 that calls for at least $2 million, I understand, maybe a little more per year. He's going to be 37 years old in September. He's had some physical problems the last year or two. It would be a tremendous gamble for somebody. I'm not saying that the Phillies are going to make any move. I'm just wondering because of all the things that have gone on. But if they do, boy, I hope we get it.
So do I. The slow curve is tapped to second. Hubby has one play and makes it. And there's one down. And when you look at Schmidt, you look at a very trim physique. He's a great all-around athlete, and boy, the Braves ought to take a chance on him if that's possible. I don't know if it is possible.
Well, you wouldn't get him for a double-A pitcher and a reserve infielder.
No, that's why it would be a gamble. You're right. And
put him at third, Horner at first, Murphy in the outfield. I'll tell you what.
Play bombs away. There's Schmidt in the dugout behind manager John Felsky. Here's Tim Corcoran.
He has always worn this ballpark out, too.
There's a strike. Phillies have Glenn Wilson at second base. One man out. And an 0-1 pitch coming. It's high. Ball 1-1-1. Yeah, and 2-1. Corcoran tonight is 2 for 2. He's doubled and singled. Phillies have 8 hits and 2 runs. Count goes to 3-1. The Braves, who came into this series having just a horrible homestand. They had lost 4 straight to the Mets and 2 out of 3 to the Expos and caught fire with a couple of late wins. Horner makes the play. It's a fair ball. It went over the bag fair. Horner grabbed it in what was foul territory and made the play 2-way.
I think that ball hit the bag as it went over. Let's see. Well, we'll never know. At any rate, it's the second out.
And 2-way, here's catcher Bo Diaz. Diaz has singled and hit a hard shot at Hubbard, turned into a double play. He takes ball 1. There you see the lefty, Dave Rucker, in the Philadelphia bullpen, just in case they get to Childress. Count evens 1-1. Cardinals are beating San Diego tonight 4-0 at the end of 3. And if St. Louis wins that game, the Dodgers will be in first place. The slow curve, base hit left field. And it's an 11-3 ball game as Diaz picks up his second hit and an RBI.
He's another guy that I'll bet you is somewhere. We're not trying to run the Philadelphia ball club, but they're pretty well committed to Ozzie Virgil, who now is an all-star catcher. And Bo Diaz is too good to be backing up anybody.
And the reason that you'd want to trade a guy like Diaz if you're the Phils is he would be held in such high esteem by other teams, you could get a lot for him. Good hitting catcher, boy. They're few and far between. Diaz is a good hitting catcher with a very good arm. A count of 1-0 on Steve Jeltz. That will end the inning as Rafi touches up at second base. But the Phils score 3 runs on 4 hits and leave 1. And at the end of 5.5 innings of play, the score, Atlanta 11 and Philadelphia 3. Claudell Washington leads off for the Braves as we go to the bottom of the 6th. Atlanta has an 11-3 lead. There have been 24 hits in this ball game, 15 by the Braves, and the Braves have had more than half of them for extra bases. The scoop and the touch by Corcoran, 1 away at first base. Previously, Claudell had reached down an error, singled and doubled. Everyone in the Braves lineup, including Rick Mahler, has at least 1 base hit. Now Ken Oberkfell, who has more than 1 hit. He has tripled and singled before lining out. That pitch on the corner for a strike. And that just outside, ball 1, 1-1. Rocky Childress on the mound for the Phils. And his pitch down low, ball 2, 2-1. Right off the thumbs, and at shortstop Steve Jeltz will make the catch. 2-away. With 2 down, here's Glenn Hubbard. He has 2 base hits and a sac fly. Now that has popped up back here. But underneath us. Great crowd in the stadium. It is seat cushion night, as I'm sure Ernie and Pete told you. And you are hearing those seat cushions being banged around right now. A combination of a seat cushion and a wave. There's a base hit to right by Hubby.
Good for him. He ended the wave with that base hit.
Also, Glenn Hubbard had been in a little bit of a slump,
That's not as important as ending the wave.
and tonight he's picked up 3 hits, right. Two-way, here's Rick Cerone. Cerone has a double on the Braves' big night. Mike Schmidt at third base will make the play, and that ends the inning. No runs on a hit. The Braves leave 1 at the end of 6. The score, Atlanta 11 and Philadelphia 3. The Phils 3 runs, 9 hits, and 1 error. John Russell going to come up and pinch hit for Rocky Childress as the fans beat the stuffings out of the seat cushions. And what a better time to call on my old friend Skip Carey to do the play-by-play.
Some are beating the stuffing. Some are throwing them from the upper deck down to the lower deck. Isn't that great? John Russell will pinch hit here to lead off the 7th inning. He's batting for Childress, and the pitch, as you see, is outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Boy, if you've got a migraine, this is not the place to be tonight. That's into the corner. Mailer is really getting ripped here. Russell will meander into second base with a double. And that's the way the 7th inning starts. And the top of the order, and Juan Samuel will come to the plate.
John Russell has great hitting stats in the minor leagues. He has not hit yet in the majors, but very young. And Phillies think he is going to be a very strong right-hand hitter.
Samuel is 0 for 3. He's lined to right, flied to left, flied to right. Breaking ball, he hung that. A looper fouled on the first baseline, 0-1. Excuse me, Aguayo is hitting, not Samuel. My mistake. Into left center field. That looks like trouble. It's going to fall. The runner will be held at third, and they're on the corners with nobody out. May not be time to get nervous yet, but we're getting close. So Aguayo drops one into short left center. And they're on the corners with nobody out. And Greg Gross will stand in. Bobby and Mike Faraday enjoying the game from our booth tonight. Mike, the general manager of our flagship radio station, WSB. They've been here at an Atlanta Falcons party. They have the new luxury boxes that they're previewing tonight.
And Bobby Faraday is the general manager of Mike.
And deserves a much better fate, we might add. Chairman of the board of the Falcons, Rankin Smith, hosting a party in those luxury boxes. Now one of the seat cushions has landed in deep center field, as you see. Now it's landed off the scoreboard. First and third, nobody out. It's 11-3, and the Phils threaten to get more. There's a strike on the outside edge, 1-1. Jeff Stedman working in the Atlanta pen. John Sterling, Skip Carey with you from the ballpark in Atlanta. Bounce toward first. Horner's had a busy night. A run scores. He steps on the bag. It's 11-4. An RBI for Gross. His 11th of the year. Horner might have turned to play at second base, but in this kind of ball game, you hate to take the chance and open the door for a huge inning, which is what Philadelphia needs to get back in the game. Von Hayes, the batter. We're in the 7th. It's been a cakewalk for Atlanta to this point. Outside, 1 ball, no strike. Skip Ellison, our director tonight. Rodney Triplett, our producer. Dick Fontaine, our associate director. There's the strike, and it's 1-1. You see how Hayes has fared in the contest to this point. Slow curve. He was way out in front. A ball and 2 strikes. All the number 1 draft choices aren't on the playing field. How can she be a Philly fan? I guess because she's a Philly.
And that she is.
Strike 3 call. Fastball inside corner at the knee.
Mela throws a lot of slow curves, but he can bust one, and he does it perfectly. Right on the hands on the inside corner.
That's his second strikeout, and here's Glenn Wilson, 1 for 3. He scored a run, driven 1 home. His 61st RBI. A little high. 1 ball, no strikes. In '83, this fellow drove in 65. He may drive in another one. Nope, Hubbard gets to that ball. Throws him out. He drove in 65 at '83 with the Tigers. That's his major league high. He's a cinch to better that this year. They got 1 on 2 hits, and they leave a batter. Bottom of the 7th rolls round. Braves by 7. We'll move from left to right. And on to pitch, the 3rd hurler of the night for the Phillies is southpaw Dave Rucker. 11-4 is our score. You see the stats on Mr. Rucker, and Rick Mailer leads it off, and that's at the knees, 0-1. Mailer is 1 for 3. As we've mentioned, every Brave has hit in this one. A ball and a strike to count. Right at jolts. 1 out. So Mailer is retired, and Milt Thompson will bat. He has a single, a double, and 4 trips. Childress didn't pitch that badly. He allowed 6 hits, 2 runs. In 4 2/3 innings. Through 1 home run ball, that's a Horner. Two and 1 the count. Just missed. 2 balls, 2 strikes. That one tagged the catcher, Bo Diaz. Same 2 teams tomorrow. Pascual Perez, still looking for victory number 1, will pitch for Atlanta. Kevin Gross, who's really been pitching well for the Phils, will be on the mound for them. We'll have it for you at 2:05 Eastern Time. Rucker's 2-2 pitch. Got a breaking ball up, but it's fouled away. Just missed outside, and the count goes full, 3-2. Braves trying to get back into single digits below the 500 mark. That's not much, but it beats the alternative. That's an easy play for Aguayo, 2 down. Childress went 4 2/3, allowed 6 hits, 2 runs, 1 homer, and struck out 1. At the knees on the inside corner. Strike zone seems to have suddenly enlarged slightly. A ball and a strike to Ramirez. See what I mean? 1 and 2 is the count. Paul Ryden is warming up in the bullpen, and he'll be with you right after this half inning. Two and 2. That almost hit Ramirez in the foot, which is leading us toward what's going to happen right at the end of this half inning. Get ready, folks. This is really clever. The inning is over. The Braves go 1, 2, 3. And coming up, the Micah 10 feet of the week with Paul Ryden.
Atlanta in front of Montreal 2-0 in the first inning. Another reason that almost 1.5 million votes made Dale the top vote getter for the All-Star game. On the mound, it was the work of Rick Mailer that led the way. With a 4-run first-inning cushion, Mailer goes the distance for his 12th win of the season, the second most wins by a pitcher in the National League. And the Braves beat Montreal going away 7-1.
Giants won their ball game today. Los Angeles, a very hot team, and the Cubs ice cold at Wrigley Field. Montreal beating Cincinnati. The Reds have been losing a lot lately. The other scores in the National League, the Cardinals have the lead over the Padres, and if the Padres lose that game, then L.A. will be in first place. We're going to duck in all the other scores for you right now. That's the Red Man scoreboard right now. Back to Skip.
1 ball, no strikes. The count to Schmidt. 31,257 paid here tonight. So you can chew on that statistic as we continue to do our Red Man scoreboard.
The Mets have grabbed a 2-1 lead over Houston at the end of 2.5.
That's well hit to right field. Washington goes as far as he can go and waves goodbye. For Mike, his 11th and his 38th RBI, and it's 11-5. He's taken this trip before, and especially in this park.
And he had a couple of shots earlier tonight. One grabbed by Murph, one by Milt Thompson deep. This time, that great extension. He had his head down and fouled through and smacked it out toward right field. And that Padre-Cardinal game now gone 4. Cardinals lead it 4-1. We never got to the American League. The Yankees beat Texas today 3-1. Oakland shut out Milwaukee 2-0. Tonight, Chicago leads Baltimore 9-3 at the end of 4.5.
436 home runs for Mike Schmidt in his career.
Kansas City leads Cleveland 3-1 and 7. Minnesota leads Detroit 5-2 at the end of 5.5. And later on the coast, Toronto will be in Anaheim to play the Angels, and Boston will be in Seattle.
And there's your Red Man scoreboard, and there's the first out of the inning. And Bo Diaz will be the batter. Diaz has singled twice and hit into a double play. He's driven in a run. A little tap over the pitcher's head. He doesn't run too well. Ramirez gets him by a step. 2 down. And Jeltz is the batter.
Braves need just under, slightly under 25,000 tomorrow to get to 1 million by the break. They now have a little over 975,000.
That got Billy Williams as it bounced up over the glove of Cerrone. A 1 ball, no strikes. Dedman is ready if needed in the Atlanta bullpen. That's a little high. It's 2-0. The Cochrans are here from Concord, North Carolina. Fans here from New Orleans, from Dallas, North Carolina. High chop. He can run. Oberkfell with a good gun. And the inning is over. So after the Schmidt homer, the Braves bounce back and get them 1-2-3. It's 11-5 as we enter the bottom of the 8th. Curveball. 1 ball, no strikes. Almost got him again as he ran the slider in on him. 2-1. The count. Horner, who needs only a single to hit for the cycle, is next. 3-1 to Murph. No Brave has hit for the cycle since 1910. There's a single up the middle. Murph is 2 out of 5, and that puts him back to the 290 mark, and here's Horner. Renicky, a grand slam for the Orioles. They're trying to come back. They lead the White Sox now 9-8, and they're still in the 5th inning. Jeff Reardon has been kicked out of the game for the Expos at Cincinnati tonight. He's been having his troubles. I wonder what happened. Strike to Horner. Reardon is a very quiet guy ordinarily. That's strange. There's a line drive, right center field. Nobody's going to get that ball. It's not going to be the cycle. He's going to get too many bases. They're going to wave Murphy. The relay gets away, and he scores easily. I sort of wish he'd have stopped to get the cycle.
Well, I was hoping he would have, and on the radio star of the game, if Bob Horner doesn't have to ice down his wrist, I'm going to ask him just that. Did he know? And if he knew, which I imagine he did he want to stop? Horn's such a low-key guy, probably would say, nah. He lines this one up the gap, and unfortunately now for the Braves and for Horner hitting for the cycle, Hayes couldn't cut it off, so it is a double and an RBI.
He has 3 RBIs on the night. Here's Claudell. Washington is 2 out of 4. He's scored 3 and driven in 1.
That is a pretty good night. 2 doubles, a triple, and a home run. 4 extra base hits in 1 game.
Yeah, but when you don't even get a single. 0-2. Gross and Perez tomorrow night, 2:05 Eastern Time. Back to the mound. They look the runner back. Whoops. Washington is out. Rucker almost threw it in the bullpen. Here's Ken Oberkfell. $12-18-1 for Atlanta. 5-12-1 for the Phillies. There's Ron Reed, the former Philadelphia and Atlanta pitcher, down below. Strike call. Visiting with fans on, or friends on both teams. I think that's right. Up the middle, that's through for a base hit. Can Horner score? Yep. Hayes kicks it around. There'll be no error. He was running all the way. Obie's 3 out of 5 with 3 RBIs. Everybody getting well in the batting averages tonight. And again, he did it against the left-hander.
It's a fastball, and Obi smacks it right up the middle. And another run for the Braves. Boy, the Braves have been looking for a night like this, Skip, I guess, since May 1st in Cincinnati.
Glenn Hubbard is 3 out of 3 with a sacrifice fly and 3 RBIs. The middle of the order has done it tonight. Murphy, 3 RBIs. Horner, 3 RBIs. Washington, 1. Hubbard, 3. Two balls, no strikes. Eight extra base hits for Atlanta. Hubbard is finally retired. Well, he was retired once before, a sacrifice fly back in the second. Here's Cerrone, 1 for 4, that a double. Braves got 4 in the first, 5 in the second, 2 in the fourth, and have added a deuce here in the 8th. 0-1. (13-5) Atlanta. Total of 31 hits in the game. Braves have 19. That'll end the inning. But the Braves get 2 on 3 hits, and we move to the 9th. Brad Cummins is in left, and Milt Thompson has moved over to center. And we go to the 9th. And Russell will lead it off. He pinch hit in the 7th, doubled, and stayed in the game. So he's 1 for 1 on the night. A mile high, and Hubbard will handle that. 1 away. Russell is retired. Is Luis Aguayo. Braves will be 7-0 against the Phillies. And it's really strange. Baseball, to my way of thinking, is not like basketball, where you do have matchups where you match up well against teams in the NBA, and a team with an inferior record will often defeat a team that figures to be and in the standings is better. In baseball, it really shouldn't be like that, I don't think. But it is in this case, at least so far this year. 1 ball, no strikes. That's foul tipped, and it's 1-1. Greg Gross waits on deck. This is a game that will not help Mailer's earned run average, but will help his record. There's the second out. Chris Chambliss has it. And Greg Gross. He's 2 out of 4 with a run batted in and 1 scored. There's an interesting stat. That's the kind of year Mailer has had. 13 wins, and we've just passed the halfway mark. He's got a great shot at 20 and maybe 25. At the knees, 0-1. He's just 2 wins behind Joaquin Andujar once he gets the final out here tonight. He hasn't gotten it yet. Gross is going to hold at first. This will be Mailer's 3rd complete game. Zane Smith has the other one. Fans beating away with those cushions. Hayes takes the strike. He's 2 out of 4. Driven in 1, scored 1. Has a double to his credit. A ball and a strike. The 1-1 pitch. Here it is. Fouled away to the screen. One and two, the count to Van Hayes. Looks like another routine 13-5 victory. Into the picnic area and beyond it, in fact. One and two is the count. Mailer trying to nail it down. Not with that. Rick now makes his home in suburban Marietta, Georgia. Curve, ripped deep right. Washington is back. He makes a great catch. A nice way for it to end. A brilliant catch by Claudell Washington. You see Mailer shaking his head in disbelief. He thought that ball was up against the wall. 1 hit, no runs. No errors, a runner left. Well, look at that again going out. Hayes jumped all over it. And Claudell leaped high and hauled it in. Back with totals and highlights right after this.